Well, hello there. I wasn't actually expecting myself to appear on the webcam so quickly, so that caught me a little bit unawares. I was going to do a whole fancy introduction and everything. We'll start it off from the beginning, shall we? I'll just bring up my YouTube feed so I can see you guys. This is much less dramatic than I thought it'd be, actually, after putting the podium up for a few minutes at least. Here we go. In 2018, the people who watched the YouTube channel Captain Switzerland participated in one of the largest democratic exercises we've ever seen here on the channel. Most certainly, there were more people who took place in the Milky Awards 2018 than those who took part in the Milky Awards 2017. Now, the people who participate in large-scale democratic exercises, they don't ask for a lot. They just ask for their wishes to be fulfilled. They just expect that if they vote for something, they sure as hell want to get it, and in good, reasonable time. As a result, the edited Milky Awards video has been delayed upon delayed. I've made gradual steps forwards and progress towards it, but I have found it quite difficult, probably setting out a project far more ambitious than I have the ability to carry out. And as a result, it's been delayed. It's been pushed back. There have been various times given where you thought you were going to get the Milky Awards, and then in fact a further statement would come out and going, "Oh no, we're still trying to seek assurances on certain aspects of the video. Let's delay it a little bit. Let's put it off a little bit." But there comes a point where you cannot delay anymore. There comes a point where if you continue to delay, then the people may lose faith in democracy. They may indeed come to believe that perhaps they're not going to get any Milkies whatsoever if it continues to be delayed. And that's why we're faced with a question. Do we delay, or do we go down the hard, dangerous cliff edge that is a no edited video Milkies? This is the real question we've got to ask ourselves, folks. There has to be compromise. Not everyone can always get what they want, and certainly not everyone's going to get what they were promised. But by God, we need something delivered soon. Otherwise, perhaps it will never happen. And for that reason, it's time to reveal the answer to who won the Milky Awards 2018. That's right. This is the live video where we'll be doing the results. There was a lovely pre-edited video that I've been working on for some time. More recently, my editing software crashed, which was a load of bollocks, wasn't it? There's stuff that's been made towards it. There's some like little skitty clips and the rest of it. My plan is I'm going to try and put some of those together in a little compilation, some of the bits that are already finished, and maybe put them up on the second channel, just so you can see some of the stuff that I was making for the Milky Awards. But the people in the side chat are fairly clear at this point. They don't want to wait any longer. They want their WTO Brexit. I mean, they want their Milky Awards, the non-edited version, and by God, they're going to get it. So fair dues, folks. Here we are. It's time for the Milky Awards 2018. Craig Brexit says, Swiss, where's the bow tie and tux lol? I think a blazer and a t-shirt is probably the best you're going to get from me at such short notice. But this is the day of compromise. You know, you've just got to make do with what you have. People demanding a second referendum, you pipe down until the end of the video. Let me just double check that I'm not going to give away too many results here. So let's go to my lovely Google form here. Right then, it's time to take a look at some Milky results. So, in 2018, you people were asked to select some of your favourite and least favourite politicians of the past year, based on how you think they performed, whether or not you felt they were awfully relevant. As we can see here, there were a large number of you who responded. There were, I think, just under 100 people who voted in total, but 2/3 of you chose to offer your names up. So there's a few of you here who have participated. And before we get to some of the first tantalizing results, we can have a look at some of the demographics here. Once more, this is people who chose to put the information forwards, but we can see that we've got a very heavy bias towards young people here on this channel, which I think is wrong, because I think that you should not have one age group trying to dictate to the others what ought to happen. Goodness gracious me, can you imagine older people voting to leave the EU or something like that? But yes, you're all a bunch of young'uns. It's scarily even. I'd say that there's a case to be made that probably about half of you are younger than I am. I think about 75% of the Captain Switzerland viewership, according to the demographics I've got to hand, are males aged under 35. So make of that what you will. And finally, we've got the locations of some of the participants as well, hailing from the north, the south, the Midlands, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and international. And as you can see, we're pretty split 50-50 here between the north and the south and a few other places. But That's not why we're here, is it? No, we're here to find out the results of the Milky Awards, and I can't keep you waiting any longer. So, without further ado, shall we get on to our first category? I think we probably should. After I spark this cigarette. Oh, this is exciting. It's like doing general election coverage or something along those lines. Right then, so our first award of the evening is Party Leader of the Year. Now, like many of the awards, you guys were given the opportunity to nominate your main picks, and then those nominations that received the most votes made it through to the final ballot. So our finalists for Party Leader of the Year were, in no particular order, Vince Cable of the Lib Dems, Arlene Foster of the DUP, Gerard Batten of UKIP, and Jeremy Corbyn of Labour. And I can now reveal to you that the viewers of Captain Switzerland chose for their Party Leader of the Year 2018 to be Jeremy Corbyn. And that will probably come as no surprise to anybody here. So there we are, Party Leader of the Year, Jeremy Corbyn, with a stonking 55.4% of the votes. Gerard Batten behind him on 18.5%. I don't know what that says about the right-wing viewership. Arlene Foster of the DUP on 13%, Vince Cable on 6.5%, and none of the above also on 6.5%. So we actually have Vince Cable drawing for last with none of the above. Absolute joy. And what that also means is this is now the second year running, I think, that Jeremy Corbyn has won Party Leader of the Year. Perhaps no surprise, considering the rather pro-Corbyn base here on the channel. But nonetheless, there we are. James Fielding in the side chat accuses the vote of being fixed already. Oh, there is no fixing. There's a few results that get churned up this evening, but I thought, is that really who should have won? But it's democracy at the end of the day, isn't it? So congratulations, Jeremy Corbyn, two-time winner of Party Leader of the Year, most recently Milky Awards 2018. Our next category is Brexiteer of the Year. As the name implies, it's those who you feel have done the most to push forwards the Brexit agenda, perhaps some of the most vocal people in favour of Brexit over the last year, or just generally people who are pro-Brexit who you happen to like. I think, as is shown by perhaps one of the people who garnered a fair few votes here. So our finalists for Brexiteer of the Year after the nominations were in were, once more in no particular order, David Davis, Jeremy Corbyn, Dennis Skinner, and Jacob Rees-Mogg. Our winner of last year, as some of you eagle-eyed viewers with long memories will remember, was Jacob Rees-Mogg. Well, I can now reveal that the winner of Brexiteer of the Year 2018 is... It's Jacob Rees-Mogg again. Who would have thought? Don't look at Remainder of the Year if any of you just saw the results there. Do not pause the stream and go back. So Jacob Rees-Mogg on 44.6% of the vote. Dennis Skinner on 28.3%. Now this is what surprised me. I think perhaps, maybe this is just my own stance on it, but although Dennis Skinner is a Brexiter, I wouldn't necessarily describe him as one of the leading Brexiteers. And as a few people who have voted told me, they basically just wanted to vote for someone who wasn't Jacob Rees-Mogg. But nonetheless, he has came in second place with 28.3% of the vote. We have Jeremy Corbyn on 13% and David Davis on 7.6%, with 6.5% going to none of the above. Now, the opposite number for Brexiteer of the Year is Remainer of the Year. And I'm trying to think who won Remainer of the Year last year, actually. Was it Tim Farron? I suspect it may have been Tim Farron. I can't remember for sure yet. But Remainer of the Year 2018. People telling me that the fucking ballot boxes are getting stuffed. You can fuck off. These are the legitimate results right here. Remainer of the Year. Our finalists were Tony Blair, Keir Starmer, Theresa May, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and Caroline Lucas. So I'll just cut straight to the chase with this one. The winner of Remainer of the Year 2018 was, in fact, Caroline Lucas, with a pretty stonking vote of 45.7%. Behind her was Theresa May, the Prime Minister currently set to negotiate our way out of the EU, was deemed to be the second place for Remainer of the Year. Keir Starmer on 17.4%, Tony Blair receiving 9.8%, which is just about right. That man deserves very little recognition. And then, of course, we have 7.6% on none of the above. So the next category that we have coming up is Rising Star of the Year. Let me just get everything back in place again here. Lord Pterodax says, under a 10% turnout, is this democracy? No. Forget about the turnout. It doesn't matter how many subscribers Captain Swiss has. It matters how many of you are the core bunch who actually vote on this kind of shit. Drew says this is a Palpatine democracy, Emperor Swiss. Well, I am the Senate now. So what's our next category then? We've done Remainder of the Year. Congrats to Caroline Lucas. Next up is Rising Star of the Year. Now I can tell you straight away this is very competitive. I'm looking at the results here, and it did appear rather split. Our Rising Star of the Year, after nominations were in, was between Tommy Robinson, Rebecca Long Bailey, Barry Gardner, and Matt Hancock. Now, if you recall, Matt Hancock was our non-entity of the year for 2017. So for him to be Rising Star would certainly be quite a feat for him to travel from junior minister in the Department of Wi-Fi and Fun to the Secretary of State for the Department of Wi-Fi and Fun, and finally to be put in charge of killing people in hospitals. So our Rising Star of the Year, I can reveal, with 29.7% share of the votes, was indeed Matt Hancock. Congratulations, Matt Hancock, you Tory shill. You've managed to climb up the greasy pole. You've made it up to be Rising Star of the Year. You are in first place, 29.7% of the vote. Behind that, Rebecca Long Bailey, 23%. Behind that, Barry Gardner on 18%, Tommy Robinson on 15%, and quite a large chunk for none of the above on this one, 13.2%. So there we are. Former Secretary of State for Wi-Fi and Fun, Matt Hancock. Congratulations. Craig Brexit says, surprise Keir Starmer didn't win on Remainder of the Year. Tom Williams says they're all yuppies. James Fielding says, fuck me, May can't even win a tombola, let alone an award. She may still win an award. You never know. We'll wait and see. So that was Rising Star. Congrats to Matt Hancock. The next one, and this is an exciting one. This is Non-Entity of the Year award. As you know, Matt Hancock won last time around in the first Milky Awards. In the nomination stage of the Milky Awards this year, Vince Cable, stroke the Liberal Democrats, received such an overwhelming number of nominations, and I really joke you not, there were a lot of them, that Vince Cable was made the automatic winner, and the name of the award has been renamed the Vince Cable Non-Entity Award. So the results that I will be reading out for you today are the runner-up to the Vince Cable Non-Entity Award. The big man, Daddy Vince, he is the winner of Non-Entity, but who perhaps could be in second place getting the silver? Well, when nominations were closed, your choices were Nigel Farage, Jess Phillips, Karen Bradley, or Dominic Raab. And once again, it was fairly split. There's not an awful lot between these guys in terms of what their votes were. So it's time to take a look. I've just screen shared these results with you. The winner of the Vince Cable Non-Entity Runner-Up Award is Karen Bradley on 27.2% of the vote. Very, very closely behind her was Dominic Raab, the Brexit sec who was for all of a few months and then disappeared again. Behind them, Jess Phillips on 20%. Lowest of the group, Nigel Farage, but still earning about a fifth of the vote. And 7.6% said none of the above. So congratulations to Karen Bradley, who, as I understand, is actually in a bit of hot water at the moment over comments that they've made about Ireland in her position as a Northern Ireland sec. Patty White says Dominic Raab won. No, not quite. Dominic Raab got 25% of the vote. Karen Bradley on 27.2%. So just he almost won. Bless him. He tried. So congratulations to Karen Bradley. You may well be out of a job in the next week. Who knows? Now it's up for some of the really big ones. This is biggest winner of the year 2018 and biggest loser of the year 2018. Now, once more, we had our nominations in. There was a pretty wide spread for these categories, as you can probably imagine. But our finalists for biggest winner of 2018 were Jeremy Corbyn, Sajid Javid, Theresa May, and the EU. That's what the nominations churned up. Not all of them are necessarily my picks to be the top four, but that's what the nominations churns up. And this is the way the democracy functions. So who is the biggest winner of the year 2018? Well, a few of you may be able to guess this one already. Let's just screen share and bring the results up here. Few surprises. It was deemed to be the European Union. The EU was the biggest winner of 2018 with a pretty stonking 45% of the vote share there. Behind the EU was Jeremy Corbyn, just over 20%. Sajid Javid, just under 20%. And then this is fairly amusing. None of the above, 13.2%. And Theresa May, that little sliver, earned herself one vote with 1.1% of the vote share. And I expect, although I'm not certain that was possibly Mr. James Fielding who may have voted for Theresa May there. Right, I'll skip on down to biggest. Oh no, I can't, can I, without showing you the results? All right, we'll stop screen sharing again. This is tedious going backwards and forwards, but hey ho. Bobovis says Viktor Orban is the biggest winner. I know people were putting in nominations. I'm assuming that's one you put in. Theresa May got 1 vote. I wonder who it is. No, it was you, Mr. Fielding. That's all, I'm afraid. Patty White believes that the people of the United Kingdom are the biggest losers of 2018. Well, let's have a look and find out, shall we? So, biggest loser of 2018. Once more, we had a lot of nominations. Who were the finalists that you guys put together? Well, it was between Theresa May, Boris Johnson, the people of the United Kingdom, and Jacob Rees-Mogg. So, if the European Union is the biggest winner of 2018, then who is the biggest loser? Well, it seems, by probably one of the clearest margins you guys have offered me thus far, that the biggest loser of 2018 was indeed the people of the United Kingdom, with 55% of the vote. Behind that, we had Theresa May. Behind that, we had Boris Johnson. Not an awful lot thinking Jacob Rees-Mogg was a big loser, and not an awful lot picking none of the above either. So, a few of you had guessed that one correctly, who thought it was going to end up being the people of the UK. Oh no, Patty White says, I saw the losers' results. Well, that's cheating. You're not allowed to, if you accidentally see the results for the next category, that's cheating. That's exploiting a bloody, people have just seen I'm not wearing any socks either. That kind of destroys the illusion of me being fancy with the blazer all of a sudden, doesn't it? That destroys democracy if you try and share the results before it's ready. So anyway, what's the next category we've got here? Biggest loser of 2018. Worst politician. Oh boy. Now, I think our worst politician last time round in the first Milky Awards was Boris Johnson. This time round, Boris Johnson is once more in the fray, amongst others. The top 4 finalists for worst politician of the year are Boris Johnson, Tony Blair, Emmanuel Macron, and Theresa May. So let's just share the results of you guys for that one then. And the winner of Worst Politician 2018 was Theresa May. So she has won an award, James Fielding. It may not have been a tombola, but she got Worst Politician at the very least. Behind her, Emmanuel Macron on about a quarter of the votes there. Obviously not going amazingly well for him in France at the moment. And then Boris Johnson and Tony Blair. Very interestingly on this vote, no one voted none of the above. Everybody had someone out of these 4 that they were pretty much willing to say, yeah, I think they're shit. So perhaps the nominations actually yielded a decent selection for this one. Now, for our next couple of categories, we have Snowflake of the Year, which was a write-in, so just people nominating their picks, and it's a straight-up tally of who got the most. And likewise, also Gammon of the Year, which was a write-in. So I'm not going to be able to tell you the results by scrolling through it and tallying it up, but I can remember from when I was looking earlier. But before I tell you the winner of Gammon of the Year and Snowflake of the Year, I probably ought to give you a few honourable mentions. These were people who were nominated sometimes in quite large numbers, but didn't quite make it through. So let me think. For Snowflake of the Year, some of your nominations which didn't quite make it were yours truly, Captain Swiss. We had Jess Phillips. We had quote-unquote Tory MPs. We had Lexiters. And we also had Piers Morgan being nominated more than once for Snowflake of the Year. But I can now reveal to you, and it's probably fairly obvious if you think about it, who was Snowflake of the Year 2018? You guys decided it was Owen Jones, and deservedly so, in my opinion. As for Gammon of the Year, likewise, your dear old Captain Swiss was nominated for that more than once or twice. Other such people that we had in the fray were Tommy Robinson, Tim Martin, the man who runs Weatherspoons, Nigel Farage, Piers Morgan once more, etc., etc. But our winner of Gammon of the Year was UKIP leader Gerard Batten. So there we are. Gerard Batten, Gammon of the Year. Owen Jones, Snowflake of the Year. Not awfully surprising, but I think those who got the most nominations were, it was pretty fair, arguably, apart from you lot fucking nominating me for both of them. So there we are. Congrats, Owen Jones and Gerard Batten, I suppose we ought to say. And now, probably the result that at least some of you have been waiting for with bated breath for God knows how long. Stream Guest of the Year. These are people who have come on to Captain Switzerland either as regular panelists or one-off guests, just anyone who's featured in any of the streams or videos. After the first stage of nominations, you guys picked for your top 4 choices of Stream Guest of the Year, in no particular order: Tom Williams, Angels, Matthew Cooper, and James Fielding. And now it's time to reveal the results. Now, for a few of you who may not know, I've had certain members of this lot and certain members of the Bullet Club badgering me for months to find out what this is. So people are waiting with their bated breath. So what I'm going to do instead, rather than show you the results, we're going to do it like a proper award show. I'm going to go in order of least votes to most votes, and we're going to reveal who it is. So in last place, perhaps fortunately for the candidates here, was none of the above on 12%. So, you know, at least 88% of you wanted one of those 4 to win. In last place, on 15.4% of the vote, is Matthew Cooper. In third place, on 16.5% of the vote, is James Fielding. And now it's a 2-horse race between Angels and Tom Williams here. In second place, on 24.2% of the vote, was Tom Williams, which makes Angels the winner on 31.9% share of the vote. Congratulations, Angels, to be the first ever Captain Switzerland Stream Guest of the Year. And just so I don't get accusations of fucking rigging it, here are the results for all to see. So there we are, Stream Guest of the Year. And finally, we had one more write-in, which was the Spanner Award for Side Chatter of the Year. And once more, it's just everyone putting in their responses there. So I previously tallied it up, and we had a few front runners. From my recollection, in fact, I'm just going to skim through it now just to see which ones popped up the most frequently. From my recollection, some of those that were mentioned most often were Election Maps UK, Nog in the Nog, aka Phil Mason, Cameron Hickman, no, a few others, quite a few of you. But the winner, according to the nominations of the Spanner Award for Side Chatter of the Year. Oh, and I should have mentioned, actually, the stipulation was that the winner of Stream Guest of the Year and the winner of Side Chatter of the Year will both get themselves a perma spanner for the rest of 2019. So that's Angels, who's going to get a perma spanner. And joining her is going to be Alex Ritchie. So congratulations, Alex. You will get yourself a new perma spanner the next time you appear in one of my side chats. And that basically brings us up to speed, folks. Those are the results of the Milky Awards 2018. So guess who's very apologetic for the fact it's taken so long? And also disappointed generally that we've got to like March and the video still wasn't finished. I tried to make it in a very, very disorganized way. And I'm bad at planning these kind of things out. It was very overambitious. But as I've said to folks, people in the side chat are mentioning that Alex Ritchie has, for all intents and purposes, vanished. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I think he pops up every now and then. So we might have to rerun it if Alex Ritchie is no longer here in any capacity. But hey ho. But as I said at the top of the stream, some of the content that I put together for the edited Milky Awards video, I am going to be uploading on the second channel, Cappy Secret Stash. So keep an eye out for that in the next few days. You'll be getting a few little vids here and there. And hopefully, after taking the incredibly difficult decision to reveal the Milky Awards now, rather than risk delays and perhaps even no Milkies. God knows there's some parallels there with Brexit. Hopefully, it means that the 2019 committee on the Bullet Chat, the Dear Captain Swiss Loyalists, will finally be off my back, and I'll be safe in my position for at least a little while longer. So anyway, folks, those are the results of the Milky Awards 2018. I'm sorry for the delay. I hope some of your best picks were chosen. And I'm now going to jump into the off-air hangout of the Bullet Club to face a select committee of exactly how long it's taken and why they've been delivered in this form. So we'll wait and see. Oh, it's Alex Ritchie just joined us, right? Right at the last minute. Well done, Alex Ritchie. Oh, and you've already got a spanner as well, so I don't even need to give you a new one. Well done. Side Chatter of the Year, Alex Ritchie, and Stream Guest of the Year, Angels. Congratulations, guys. I'll catch you all later.